So I wanted to make a video about specific persons, and I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time. So if you watched my last vlog, I'll link it up here. I talked a little bit about specific persons and the way that I manifest specific persons, but I wanted to really break it down a little bit more. I wanted to go more in depth about specific persons because I feel like with specific persons, it's one of those things that can be tricky just for no reason, and you'll see what I mean by the end of this video. But I hope to bridge the gap between you feeling like you need to really force the situation to happen, or if you're feeling very distraught over the person or circumstance or whatever happened. I really want to bridge the gap for you today and make it make sense for you. All right, so we're gonna get right into it. One of the things that I really find interesting about a lot of these videos made about specific persons, and really when it comes to people manifesting a specific person that they want back, like their ex or something like that, I really feel like it gets out of control, and we take a lot of it and we place the responsibility on another person as if that person is really doing something towards us. And although it may feel that way in the moment, there's a deeper underlying issue that we really need to look out, because it's really not necessarily about the person, because you don't have to convince, have to like think, feel, or like be anything to make a person like want to come back to you. You really just have to focus on putting all of that into yourself. This is why self-concept is really important here. So remember that you are source and you are the operant power in your life. And when we talk about that, we mean that you are I am just as much as I am. So I am the all, source, universe, all of that. You are that I am. So I am that I am, that is you, okay? The number one cause for feeling desperation when it comes to trying to manifest your specific person is the fact that you are feeling separated from I am, from your I am, for what you say that you are in life and who you are in your life. And it may be playing out through other people, through circumstances and all these things. But when it comes to specific people and you feel desperate and you feel like you got to fix the situation, or you don't know where all these third parties are coming from, or all these things and they're treating you bad and whatnot, it's because you have separated yourself from I am. So you already put yourself in a victimization role and feeling defeated and feeling like you cannot do anything about it. This can usually be found in the conversations that we have in our minds about our specific person, or this is in general. This is with anybody. This is your bosses, your friends, your family, the conversations that we have in our head about specific people. When we have those conversations and they tend to be negative, you really can only think lovingly thoughts of yourself, and then you can see those in others. But if you think negative thoughts of others, then you really see those same attributes somewhere within yourself, or you put yourself in a victim state, and so it plays out in your reality. So that's why we say we have to change the way that we see the person, but we cannot do that without changing the way we see ourselves. And what I mean by this is, so I'm going to go back to the law of polarity, because that really does play a lot in this scenario. And I really want you guys to start understanding about the law of polarity and some of these laws, so that way you can go to it and be like, okay, this is really like the dynamic that's playing out. So you won't get so in your emotions and let that overpower the emotion, that you can have that healthy relationship here. So I want to read a part from the Kabbalion, from the law of polarity, okay? So it says that everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has a pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. So what you're seeing play out in your life, in your situation, is a half-truth, and in their side is a half-truth. But remember, when we're saying that you are God, and I talked about this in another video, I'll link it right here, we're talking about if you are the operant power in your life and you created the ability to have this loving relationship, or really created a relationship with this partner, as much as the good of this relationship is present on one side, you can also bet that you've created another lane or various lanes where the relationship can be bad. It's all just a matter of what you focus on. So this is why it really pays to be indifferent towards situations, indifferent towards their behaviors, indifferent in your feelings, because the one who has the most natural stability, if you cannot be wavered in that, all life has to conform to you, okay? So it takes the responsibility off of the actual person and puts it back on you, on your I am. And you really, this is where you really have the ability to change your life. So let's just take the person out of the situation so we can really see what it is. And I talked about this in my vlog, but I really want to address it again about how when there's a specific person, or for me, for instance, myself, when a person that I'm dating is not treating me right, or if I've been with any of my partners like for a long period of time and the situation just kind of like got stagnant or whatever, I do look at a few things. I look at, is this person reflecting back to me a place or a space in my life where I have not, you know, at least acknowledged a limiting belief there? Or are they showing me what I'm really feeling about myself, or the energy that I'm putting off? And these things go up and down, like with our emotions and whatnot. But if it's a consistent thing, I do take a look at it and I say, okay, what within me is making this person reflect back to me what I may be feeling about myself? Also too, it happens when I feel separated from my I am, or who I feel like I am, or who I feel like I say I am. If I'm not following through on my word, if I'm not putting myself first, then everything in my life starts to turn away from that I am. So it starts to, you know, get on that degree of that pole where that thing is not really, it's on a path that, or a storyline or a timeline that I do not want to be on, okay? And then the second thing I talked about was seeing everything and everyone as data, situations, circumstances, all the things that hurt your feelings. You have to see it as data just in case, because if not, then 9 times out of 10 you're going to take everything personal and you're going to make it have a meaning, and most likely in a negative way, because our ego only wants to protect us. But if you can look at it as data just passing through like that, the thoughts don't mean anything, or what they're saying doesn't mean anything, you can be like, okay, like whatever, like that is what it is. But for me, this is the story that I choose here. Or it's a, you could think of it as a test to see if this person, or if whatever circumstances are coming up, because it's not necessarily the person. You just may be tested in an area where you're trying to see, is your self-confidence still there? If I am is still saying, are we still this? If that makes sense. Okay, so when it says all paradoxes must be reconciled, these things have to be reconciled. And this is why we talk about forgiveness. And reconciliation is not you reconciling with the person. It is you reconciling within yourself, where you have moved away from I am, or your place where you're putting yourself as the forefront and really being steadfast and standing in your I am. So once you reconcile between yourself, this is for you, this is not for anybody. This is why when you let that person completely go, or when you reconcile within yourself, okay, like that relationship didn't work out, yada yada yada, you send them love and then you move on, don't they always come running back? Because you reconciled it within yourself, not looking to reconcile with them. This is why we say everyone is you pushed out, because everyone only can reflect back to you what you feel about yourself. Or it's just like everything is just playing out so that way you can see and have an experience with being your I am. So this person can only reflect back to you what you think about yourself, or really show you, especially if you've created space in your life energetically to level up or go to the next level. You realize that things will be tested and things will be shifted in certain areas in your life to see if you need to grow to that next level vibrationally, and is this person growing with you vibrationally? You have to stay neutral in this, because it makes everything balanced, and thus you're able to choose what path you want, what degree of pole you want to look at. Do you want to look at the good, or do you want to look at the bad? And when I say good and bad, it's not necessarily like a good or bad. All of it is neutral. This is why, like, the more you're indifferent, the more you naturally get what you want out of life. And this is why having a full life is one of the most important things. This is one of the things that I teach, is really having a full life, engaging really in yourself, really engaging in your I am. If you say that you're I am and that all of world conforms to you and that you have an amazing life, you really need to go live that amazing life outside of that person, because it's just like you have to kind of see people, places, and things as supporting roles in your life that support your I am, or you being I am, or having this experience in life. So you notice the more that you take your attention off of that person and you get so far up your own ass doing your own thing, going out with your friends, like really just working on yourself, learning, growing, expanding, then you know they come back. But it's not necessarily that that version of that person like comes back. The version, you shift to the timeline where the person that you want or whatever you're looking for is that vibrational match. So you get off of that timeline or that vibration with that person, and sometimes that person may not like go to that next level with you, but rest assured you'll have a SP with you, that one that is like really into you. But for those of you who want to just have like that same specific person that you're looking to, you're not getting that same person back. And the reason why a lot of it goes sour when this person finally does come back, because you've turned back to that old person on that old paradigm, and that new person that showed up reverts back as well, and then they show you what you're showing them. So you've actually met the person that was on that vibration that you were on when they come back, and they're loving and they're doing all these things. But when you don't stay solid in your I am, when you turn away from your I am, that's when you go back down and you get that same person. So it's not necessarily this one person changing. That's why you have to see them as brand new every time. You can only look at them as loving, because you're only shifting to new timelines. You're not actually being the same through every single timeline. You're going according to your vibration here. So this is why that's what really helped me when looking at my exes from a point of, okay, they're different on this level, and they're different on that level. So you're not changing anyone or anything. You're simply shifting back to your God state, or back settled into your I am, and life just plays out that way for you. It is important that you remember that you are source, that you are I am, that you do have the ability to make your life up any way that you want here. And the way that you think about it is, it's like you're not necessarily getting your SP to conform. You are sending out your I am, and I am is reflecting back to you. It sets up the scene, it sends in the actors, it sends in the set, it sends the circumstances for you to play your role out, for you to have an experience. So I am is having an experience with itself. Okay, you cannot be separate from I am, and we're going to talk about that in another video, but you cannot be separate from I am. I am that I am. I am is you. So the moment that you feel separate from your creation, if you created this amazing relationship with this person and everything is going good, and you step out of that vibrationally, that is when you feel like, you know, everything it's just going to reflect back to you, and this is why you feel separate. But when you get back in that God state, this is when life starts to go back in the favor that you want. So it's really all about knowing where you are and how to work back there. But self-concept and really putting yourself first is definitely that game changer in really getting anything you want out of life. But I really want us to take our focus off of it being that specific person, as far as like, this person is doing this person is doing that, and making it all about the person. But because if you are the God of your own reality, then you are playing all the parts. You're playing all the parts to make your I am, whatever you put behind that I am, that experience, make it play out, okay? I really want you guys to understand this. So I hope this video really resonated with you. Get down in the comments below and let me know how much it resonated with you. If you would like for me to go more in depth, and whatever other videos you guys want me to make, go ahead and drop them down below. Hopefully you guys like my subliminal. I just posted it. It's the subliminal that I use to get pretty much everything and to stay in my self-concept, but I will link that down below for you guys to listen to. And until then, I hope that you have an amazing day. Remember, imagination is on your side, and I am too. Bye.